The movie begins at an island resort in the Philippines. Families and friends are gathered for Darcy Rivera's and Tom Fowler's wedding. Darcy shows up to the party where she meets with her mother, Renata, who thinks she should have taken her father's money for the wedding, and the arrangements would have done better. Meanwhile, Tom is planning a surprise for Darcy on a motorboat when he is startled by a security guard and falls into the water. Tom's mother, Carol, arrives with her second husband, Larry. At the same time, Darcy's father, Robert, shows up with his new younger girlfriend, Harriet. Renata is irritated because she still despises Robert after their divorce. While Darcy and Tom plan to spend time together, Tom is distracted by his best friend Ricky, leaving Darcy to be with her younger sister Jamie. Things get complicated with the arrival of Darcy's charming ex-boyfriend Sean, who is invited by Robert. He calls Darcy DD. His presence makes Tom nervous, as everyone can see he is jealous. Later Sean gives an emotional speech toward Darcy, revealing that he got engaged to Darcy once, and she called it off. The crowd expresses sympathy toward Sean, and this makes Tom uncomfortable. He ends the speech by saying a phrase in a different language, and Darcy gives an awkward laugh before explaining to Tom that it's a cuss word in Balinese and very offensive. Tom gets disappointed when his sister appreciates Sean's speech. Darcy tries to get intimate with Tom, but he asks why she called off her engagement with Sean. Darcy explains she liked Sean until he started working with her dad, and soon he began to change and cared only about money and status. They are interrupted by Carol, who says they can't be in the same room the night before their wedding, as she thinks it will bring bad luck. So they end up sleeping in different rooms. On their wedding day, as the staff is making arrangements, a group of pirates makes their way to the island after seeing the couple's wedding website. Darcy is helped into her dress by Renata, Jamie, and Carol, but she feels something is wrong. She texts Tom telling she needs to talk to him, and Darcy says that having everyone down to the Philippines for their wedding is too much, because she never wanted to have a lavish wedding. They argue until they decide to call off the wedding. Meanwhile, their families are worried as they can't find them, and suddenly the pirates storm into the resort and threaten the staff, before surrounding the guests by the beach and taking them as hostages. Tom witnesses this from a distance. The pirates force everyone into the swimming pool and realize that the bride and groom are missing. So their leader sends them to find Darcy and Tom. Tom finds Darcy in her room and warns her there are pirates outside, and they took everybody hostage. They notice an armed pirate attempting to break in, and since they cannot escape the room, Tom comes up with a plan to trap him in a net, while Darcy thinks of using her hairspray into his eyes. Tom agrees with her and plans to light the match, making it a flamethrower. A pirate enters the room and walks towards the bathroom after hearing the shower, and suddenly Tom tries to trap him in a net while Darcy tries to spray him in the eyes before he takes them down. They end up getting tied up together. The pirate informs his leader that he got them, and puts Darcy and Tom on the cart to take them to him. The pirate leader then calls out Robert and demands a $45 million ransom, as they know how rich he is. Robert agrees but wants to ensure that Darcy and Tom are safe. Meanwhile, the pirates get annoyed as Darcy keeps talking. When she asks for a cigarette, they give her thinking she will be quiet, but she uses it to set fire to their heads, causing them to flee and leaving the couple to try to take control of the driverless cart. They manage to escape, but Darcy's dress becomes entangled and is ripped off as the cart falls off a cliff. A pirate then attacks them, but Darcy manages to take a grenade from his grasp, and Tom kicks him and causes him to fall against a rock, killing him. This makes him horrified at the prospect of killing a man. Darcy and Tom try to untie themselves, but Tom warns Darcy not to drop the grenade she's holding because it doesn't have a pin, and dropping it could set it off. Tom tells her they can't throw it to a distance being tied up. Darcy takes out her phone, which she had hidden before they got attacked, and now they can call for help. However, there is no good cell reception, so they climb up a tower, but the pirates spot them and start shooting, making Darcy drop her phone. They descend from a zipline tower, and Darcy drops the grenade on two pirates, alerting the others to their location when it explodes. When the couple lands, they are terrified to discover that their loved ones are being held hostage. Meanwhile, the pirate leader arrives at the blast spot and wants his men to find Tom as he wants to kill him. A pirate emerges, telling him he wants to kill Darcy because she burnt his head. The couple enters the kitchen to figure out how to cut their bindings. As they cut themselves free using a deli slicer, Tom gets a deep cut on his hand that makes Darcy faint. Hearing their screams, a female pirate arrives to check it to find Darcy lying on the floor. Tom then goes up against the pirate and smashes her through a glass window, knocking her out. Darcy comes to her senses, shortens her dress, and puts on boots to jump into action and assist Tom in saving their loved ones. They get to the resort's main office only to discover they have no internet. The owner Margie emerges from the bunker and takes them down. While tending to Tom's wound, Margie reveals that the resort was attacked by pirates the previous summer, which Tom was aware of. Darcy yells at Tom for putting them in danger and for his habit of self-sabotage and insecurities, which drove him to plan the grand wedding. Tom retaliates that Darcy is putting on a big front of being confident, but she is a scared little girl. The pirates search the office, and they are not speaking English. Tom asks Margie and Ace what language the pirates are speaking, but they have no clue. This rings a bell to Tom, who decides to take responsibility for the hostages since he brought them to the island. Tom gets out of the bunker and leaves Darcy behind before he turns himself to the pirates. Tom is brought to the other hostages. The pirate leader asks for Darcy. Tom says he doesn't know and gets beaten up after giving him a cuss word in Balinese. Tom then holds Sean at knife point. Tom deduced that Sean was the man who hired the pirates because Sean had said that phrase in his speech last night, and Tom figured the pirates were Balinese. He even produces a wedding invitation from one of the pirates, and Tom claims Sean hoped to get the ransom from Robert, who realizes Sean is doing this because he did not give him investment money. Sean then breaks his act and hits Tom, before joining the pirates and pointing a gun at Tom. Darcy begins to feel bad about her argument with Tom while staying with Ace and Margie, so she decides to join Tom in order to save everyone. Meanwhile, the pirates beat up Tom asking for the whereabouts of Darcy. Tom tells Sean they got into a fight, and Darcy left in a cart looking for the phone signals near the cliff. Sean takes the pirate leader to track down Darcy, using Harriet as collateral and taking her with him in his helicopter. Darcy arrives with a gun and attempts to reconcile with Tom while also taking on the pirates, but they end up taking Darcy hostage. They wonder why Sean would take Harriet as collateral, and Larry thinks she is also involved, as he had been filming everything and had captured footage of her and Sean kissing. While in the helicopter, the pirate leader complains he lost 4 of his men and wants to take full money. Harriet then hits the pressure point to paralyze him before throwing him out of the helicopter. Darcy and Tom devise a plan in which they perform an impromptu wedding ceremony in the pool, which the pirates agree to after Robert agrees to pay the ransom. Carol then sings the song, before the couple seizes an opportunity to fight back, and Darcy steals a grenade and makes to surrender their guns and run away. Carol gets her hands on a rifle, and Tom uses the grenade to kill the pirate, causing some fireworks to go off, which alerts Harriet and Sean. Ace and Margie assist the guests in getting to safety. Finally, the couple arrives at the docks, where they subdue a young pirate. Sean discovers them and tries to persuade Darcy to join him, but she refuses. She and Tom board the boat, leaving Sean to pursue them. Harriet tries to shoot them down from the helicopter. As Darcy revs up the boat, Tom and Sean become caught up in a parasail that flies upwards. Tom then uses a chunk of fake hair to zipline down and land on the boat, and Darcy uses a cake knife to cut the parasail loose, causing Sean to get sliced by the helicopter's blades while Harriet goes down with the helicopter. Darcy and Tom return to the island, where they reconcile and agree to proceed with their wedding. Authorities arrive to apprehend the remaining pirates, and Darcy and Tom finally marry, while Jamie and Ricky accidentally set off the fireworks while hooking up. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and turn on notifications to watch more videos like this.